The culture here. Brilliant. I think it'll be good for Glasgow. Good stuff.
We're going to dance and have some fun.
Scotland's largest city, Glasgow, has been officially named Europe's cultural capital for 1990.
Pure, dead brilliant.
It's given the PR people and the culture vultures lots to talk about, lots of money in their pocket.
What would you say to your critics who say you're portraying a yuppie culture?
Well, that kind of nonsense is generally said by small, unrepresentative groups who really want to stand on the sidelines and whinge rather than get in there and do something positive and make a contribution to 1990.
The whole crowd exultant, expectant, little knowing how many of their demands were about to be met.
I wish to put it plainly that the government has taken a firm decision to release Mr. Mandela unconditionally.
There's Mr. Mandela, Mr. Nelson Mandela, a free man taking his first steps into a new South Africa.
I was completely overwhelmed by the enthusiasm. It's something I did not expect. And along the route, I was surprised to see the number of whites who seem to identify themselves with what is happening in the country today amongst blacks.
Something inside so strong.
There have been dozens of casualties in rioting at Strangeways Prison in Manchester. They include prisoners, prison officers and police sent in to restore order. There's widespread damage from fire.
It's been revealed that the prison officer held hostage for 20 hours inside Shotts prison last week escaped by untying his bonds and jumping to freedom.
Because I'm free. Do you want the best say? These are the words me from my granddaddy. Come, these are the words me from my granddaddy. He said nothing in this world like when I'm a know him free. Free from the lock, I'm free from the key. Free like a butterfly, free like a bee. These are the words me from my granddaddy.
Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself.
I thought we matched 44,000 in there in 10 minutes. You come and see Frank. Who is Frank Sinatra? We made him a millionaire. So when I go home, I'm burning my records up.
Did you manage to get in to see Frank Sinatra? I'm not asking if you bought tickets. I'm asking.
They say I might as well face the truth, but I am just too long in the tooth.
Sent locally. You know what this will be. He's sent it back after all. What? The electricity man. He sent back Uncle George's shoes. No, I don't believe it.
You're unbelievable.
We've had a case of a girl actually putting the terrapin down the toilet because the turtles came from the New York sewers and she wanted to emulate that.
Expecting it to come back as a turtle?
Yes, as a hero turtle.
Well, they should be sort of fairly modern in design, and they've got to be easily turned off and onable.
For all your creature comforts, eat electric.
The Hearts chairman Wallace Mercer strode into an Edinburgh hotel this afternoon to announce the boldest takeover bid British football has ever heard.
This morning, Hart Midlothian plc submitted an offer for the full issued share capital of Edinburgh Hibernian plc.
You're unbelievable.
Disgraceful. You going to go yourself? Go where? Go to a new club. No danger. No danger.
They've waited for this moment for a long time. Listen to the acclaim for them.
The hills are bare now, and autumn leaves lie thick and still. O'er land that is lost now, which those so dearly held, O flower of Scotland, when will we see your like again?
Gold medalist of 1986 retains the title at 10,000 metres and takes her second gold medal in the Commonwealth Games.
The best part of football is playing. But if you're not going to play, and you can't play for this club, the second best thing's to manage them.
Scotland's local authorities say they deplore the decision of the Scottish Sports Minister, Michael Forsyth, to allow football clubs 10 years to make their grounds all-seated.
The accident happened in blizzard conditions. The helicopter, a Bell 206 Jet Ranger, normally used for local radio traffic reports, clipped the roof of the block of flats, turned upside down and plummeted to the ground.
All we really saw was a helicopter quite low above us in the snow, and the children were waving to it, and it disappeared over behind the houses, and we didn't hear anything.
Where were you when you saw the helicopter?
We were in our front garden.
The Conservative MP Ian Gow has been killed by a car bomb at his home in Sussex. The influential backbencher was driving his car out of a carport when it exploded. Ian Gow is the third Tory MP to be killed by bombers and a fearless opponent of the IRA.
The wreck of the Antares has now been found following a major air and sea search in the Firth of Clyde, close to where the submarine first reported the incident.
80 fathoms deep she rests, her tattered gear a shroud. Lives are ended, lives are empty, hearts are broken, dreams unspoken. Shine down, Antares. Sail on, Antares.
There's 4 good men lost there, unnecessarily, after braving the bloody everything the sea could throw at you, and to be sniffed out by a submarine, of all things. It's an absolute disgrace.
Good evening from the Scotland Squad Hotel in Rapallo. Andy Roxburgh and his men have arrived safe and sound and in very good spirits. And indeed, the sun's come out to greet them. The mood in the Scottish camp was optimistic.
Just get behind us, and I'm sure that we'll produce a good for you. I hope things can come good.
Tayaso has scored for Costa Rica, and there are the looks of disappointed, almost stunned people. An air of disbelief about this stadium.
You're not here to enjoy yourself. You're here to support Scotland. Tell him that.
Oh, keep the cranium, you, will you, for God's sake? You're still wound up just because we get gubbed by Costa Rica.
As all your preparations have gone for nothing, how do you explain it?
Well, I think that's the analysis comes much later. I think at this moment in time, we're very disappointed, of course. We're really disappointed for this terrific support that came here.
There's a shot, and it just touched the way net. Looks as if it'll go in. No, it has, yes. Just for 1 second, I thought it was going to stay out or go on the other side of the net, and that is a look and a posture of absolute dejection.
Excuse me? Non capisco. Vuoi cantare un po' di... si dorma. That is what you want.
Nothing ever happens. Nothing happens at all. The needle returns to the start of the song, and we all sing along like before. And we'll all be lonely tonight and lonely tomorrow. Telephone exchanges click while there's nobody there. The Martians could land in the car park and no one would care.
I think Glasgow's given a good impression of itself to the world. Do you not think so?
I really appreciate you having me back here. It's great.
It reminds me of the heady days of Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin, when the world trembled at the sound of our rockets. Well, they will tremble again at the sound of our silence. The order is, engage the silent drive.
You can't touch this.
It's all right. I'm glad to be here.
You can't touch this.
France has got beer, see. France has had scrapie and sheep for just as long as we've had. They're banning our meat because it's going to protect their own market, and the French are damn good at that.
The Agriculture Minister, John Gummer, today enrolled his daughter Cordelia in his campaign to persuade people that eating beef is safe. It was a little hot for her. But later he munched it himself to prove to the world that he at least is confident there's nothing to worry about.
Look in my eyes, man. You can't touch this. Yo, let me bust my funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands. You got it like that. Now you know you want to dance. So touch this. Why you standing there, man? You can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell. School is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song or rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now.
Well, this is dead good because like you can move about in it, you can do all your games. It's much better than like worrying about your skirts and everything before like ripping them or anything.
Worry about it later. And the wind blows hard, and the wind blows cold, but it blows us good, so we've been told. Music's through to the office phones, let them all be culture. The past is steeped in shame, but tomorrow's fair game for a life is fit for living. Good morning, Britain.
No.
Taylor still on his feet.
I'm very sorry to interrupt, Mr. Deputy Speaker, but we are having here an important concession announced at the beginning of the poll tax system. The system has been running for over a year in Scotland. Is it possible?
Prime Minister, when the community charge was introduced in Scotland, you didn't make the same compromises that you have made in England and Wales. Doesn't this underline the belief that Scots' views are not taken into account?
Absolute nonsense.
And I just unfortunately got left in the middle of it.
People sitting watching those scenes would be very, very angry that this small minority of people
So what went wrong?
What has been a marvellous demonstration.
People have a right to demonstrate peacefully, and probably that's what most of them are doing. Then it was taken over by some extreme groups, and we saw some of the worst scenes of violence by people who have no consideration.
The story of B-17 bomber in the Second World War called the Memphis Belle, which was the first one to complete 25 missions, which was a tour of duty. The survival rate at that point in the war wasn't very high, and it was quite a coup for them to survive that far.
The villains and the hard men and the scrap metal dealers and the people who live at night time tend to be more interesting on film. If you write films about stamp lickers and train spotters, you're going to lose a lot of dough.
You want to do it like this one? Bargains, bestsellers and bric-a-brac at Baker Grove. I don't believe it. Yes, they're giving them away. Well, almost. At the big Baker Grove Bonanza. Sale starts at 2 o'clock. So ball on down to Baker Grove.
I was taking the skin off a garlic clove, and it turned on the edge of the skin and went nicely into my finger.
What sticks in my craw is that Fraser Boyle still at liberty to drive about in his fish motor dispensing threats and menaces along with a lemon soul and God only knows what else.
It's going to take them a while to get used to working with us. It's going to be different. A lot of prejudice, which there are, of course, as you've noticed.
I'm totally against it.
Why?
Why? Because it caused so much hassle on board the ship. It's not real.
But I think in time will work itself out. They'll get used to us.
I'm concerned about Iraq's military capability at a time when the Middle East is probably at its most dangerous point for many years.
After that, brushing the Kuwaitis aside was barely a morning's work. Backed by his mighty army, the Iraqi president has made no secret of his ambition to dominate the Gulf and to become the arbiter of the Arab world.
There is no place for this sort of naked aggression in today's world, and I have taken a number of steps to indicate the deep concern that I feel over the events that have taken place.
When the Iraqi tanks went into Kuwait, President Saddam Hussein's officials say he was already planning to use the foreigners who were trapped there as a weapon in the battle of wills with the West.
I now know what real politics is like. I don't think I'll ever get involved in it ever again. I'll do my 3 years and then I'll go back to being rock and roll.
We are totally against a single currency, and so is our Parliament. Government and Parliament are at one.
I think everyone's very pleased that sterling has joined the exchange rate mechanism. I'm very pleased. We've been waiting for this decision for a long time. It's now been made. I think it will be a great success, and I'm looking forward to discussing it with my colleagues.
It's rather like sending your opening batsman to the crease, only for them to find, the moment the first balls are bowled, that their bats have been broken before the game by the team captain.
Margaret Ewing MP 186. Alex Salmond MP 486.
This morning, Mrs. Thatcher announced her intention to resign. It was an historic moment, the end of an era in British politics.
We're leaving Downing Street for the last time after 11 and a half wonderful years, and we're very happy that we leave the United Kingdom in a very, very much better state than when we came here 11 and a half years ago.
We have in front of us the building and development of an entirely new Europe, a building and development in which this country will play a full and leading role.
At 11 o'clock this morning, just half a metre of rock separated Britain from continental Europe. It took the drills just a few moments to cut through the final obstacle. The strict ban on alcohol underground was abandoned as the tunnellers toasted their success in Champagne. Then the first Britons to walk from England into France arrived to have their passports stamped.
The physical contact that has been achieved between Britain and France today is symptomatic of many changes that we have been experiencing in the last 20 years. It's all happening and it's all continuing to happen in an accelerating pace.
It was at 10 o'clock at night that the East German military brought in their heavy equipment. But the wall had been up for 29 years, and it took some force to bring down.
Bloody brilliant. All together now. What do you think, bro?
Oh, this is a cracker.
In no man's land.
Food was rubbish. The Iraqis, they don't really have a clue.
The homecoming at Dublin Airport was emotional, but triumphant.
I'm overwhelmed. at the affection, but another part of me goes back to those men who are left behind.
All together now. All together.